Hello, and welcome to our second day of Week 4 distance learning. We have been reading from Module 9, Week 2, from Farm to Table, in order to answer the essential question, how does food get to your table? Our learning mindset is planning ahead. We're going to start with some word work, decoding words with ough and augh. In order to get a sense of decoding ough, we're going to listen to a quick story, and we're going to hear some of the different ways we can pronounce ough, as in thorough, o, enough, uff, or coughing, off.
O-U-G-H is tough. Written by Karen Moakler. Illustrated by Jeff Ebler. Focus question. What does the author want you to learn from this book? Some letters make so many sounds. They really turn your head around. Take the many sounds of O-U-G-H. Uff is tough. All its sounds make reading rough. So very many sounds, it's true. Watch for O-U-G-H sounds and what they do. Sound 1. Come and meet a guy I know. He does strange things with cookie dough. He makes each cookie with his toe. The dough still makes me hungry, though. Sound 2. This guy walks out into a drought. He gets struck by a falling bough. It makes him shout out, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, uff is tough. Sound 3. He shakes the dust off, but gets a cough. Then this guy falls in a trough. Uff is tough. Sound 4. This guy sees his sister Dot. He's caught up in a crazy plot. First she bought, then they fought. Then they did things that they ought not. They got caught. Sound 5. Yeah, uff is tough. By now you're tired of this stuff. Your ears say they have heard enough. Sound 6. All the sounds those letters do. Aren't you glad that we are through?
Okay, so as you heard, the words with uff have at least 4 sounds. Now let's look at the words with augh. These can be daughter, laughable, drought.
The word or in the middle. The next pattern is augh. Now there is no specific card that we've practiced for this sound because it makes a couple of different sounds depending on the word it is in. But we've got caught, taught, distraught, and daughter. Those all make that long aw sound, just like a couple of our other patterns. However, you'll also see laugh, which obviously sounds very different than daughter, laugh, very different sound, and drought is a completely different sound from both of those as well. So again, this augh one is a tricky one, but the spelling words for this week are the caught and taught.
Okay, so now we know that ough can say thorough, o, enough, uff, cough, off, and augh can say daughter, ah, laughter, aff, and drought, out. Where do you think rough falls? That's right. It has the uff sound, like enough. What about the next word? Haughty. That's right. It rhymes with daughter, haughty. What about trough? Yes, it rhymes with cough. And donut. Good. It rhymes with thorough, donut. Okay, now we're going to blend and read words with off and aff. Laughable, enough, throughout, coughing. Thoughtful, laughter, retaught, drought. Sourdough, stepdaughter, thorough, toughness. Roughness, naughty, rethought, donut. Granddaughter, thoughtless, haughty, although. Martin bought an inexpensive gift for his friend. Now we're going to look at some suffixes, ness and able. Last time we talked about how words that end in er change words into nouns. Someone who. When you watch this video on your own, you will see some words like walker, someone who walks, baker, someone who bakes, and driver, someone who drives. We will also learn words with ness. Ness means the act of or the quality of being. So when you see ness, you're going to know it's a noun. For example, kindness means the act or quality of being kind. And tidiness means the act or quality of being tidy or neat. So when the video with me is over, you can go back and watch the video on suffixes ness and We're also going to look at the suffix able. It looks like able and it means can or able to, but it's pronounced able. We are going to look at some words. Retainable, capable of being retained or remembered. Inflatable, capable of being inflated. And hummable, capable of being hummed. In addition to being suffixes, we have some spelling rules. When we add ness to a word and it ends in y, we have to change the y to an I before adding the suffix ness. When the word ends in e and we want to add able, we have to drop the e before we add able. Here are our words. Do you remember what uniqueness means? How about happiness? Fluffiness? Retainable? Inflatable? Hummable? What do you think these words mean? Preparedness? Likeable? Kindness? Doable? We will look at these words during our Zoom meeting on Tuesday at 10:15 or 1:15. Day 2 reading. Today our reading strategy will be ask and answer questions. It's important to ask and answer questions before, during, and after reading. This helps us become better readings because it forces us to think about what we're reading. Which questions will you use when you are reading? Who, what, where, when, why, or how? These questions help you make predictions, clarify, and think more deeply about the text. So think about which questions you will use as you read How Do You Raise a Raisin? Remember, yesterday we read the beginning of the text. Stop and think about what surprised you. What do you think the author assumed you already knew? And what challenged, changed, or confirmed what you already knew? These are questions I'll ask during the Zoom meeting. I'm also going to ask you about paragraph 9. What image do the phrases sprawling branches and tamer train them create? And why is that? What simile is used in paragraph 19? Today we're going to start on this page. What does the numbered list in paragraphs 26 and 27 show? I'll be asking you that after I read this page. Raisins do not look like grapes. They're withered up and wrinkled. Are they soaked inside a bathtub until their skin is crinkled? So we have words that end in ed, soaked and crinkled. As grapes bake in the hot sun, their water evaporates. The more water they lose, the more the grapes shrivel, causing wrinkles. Remember, shrivel means when things dry out and get smaller and wrinkled. So the question was, why are raisins wrinkled? And the answer was, because the juice evaporates and makes them shrivel. How many grapes must a farmer dry upon the valley ground to make a box of raisins that weighs about 1 pound? I wonder why the author is concerned about how much grapes weigh. Let's find out. It takes about 4 1/2 pounds of fresh grapes to make 1 pound of raisins. Oh, well, I'm looking at the illustration and I'm thinking probably a big box of raisins, not the little ones, weighs about 1 pound. So that must be why she wants to answer that question. That's a lot of grapes. Who puts raisins in the boxes that keep them sweet and dried? Do tiny fairy princesses stuff each one inside? That's a good question. How do raisins get in the box? When they're needed, raisin bins are brought into the factory for packaging. It takes only 10 minutes from bin to package. Workers and machines take off the stems and cap stems, sort and wash the raisins. Then the raisins are packaged in a variety of boxes and bags. Oh, so workers and machines put the raisins in the boxes. What happens to the raisins that aren't the very best? Are they sent to raisin prep school until they pass the test? When it comes to raisins, nothing is wasted. The stems of capstems are ground up and used for animal feed. Raisins that are not perfect are made into raisin concentrate. That's used as a natural preservative in cakes, breads, and cookies. The best raisins are used for eating, baking, and adding to cereals. And I see this is the paragraph that our question is about. The number list says get plenty of sun, roll over after 2 weeks, dry evenly. It sounds like those are the instructions for how grapes become what? Raisins taste so very sweet, but they're considered sugar-free. Is each one dipped in a honey pot by a busy honeybee? So raisins are naturally sweet. Take a moment to think about the new information we learned about raisins today. Go back and look at your discussion questions, add your answers to the discussion board, and come back for the writing lesson.